I'm Louise and I'm here for My Global Mind talking to the gospel. Lovely to meet you today. So first of all, let's work our way around the room and tell me about your role in the band. And
I'm Jimmy and I do some vocals and some production in the background.
I'm Hazel and I play guitar and backing vocals.
I am Danny and I play drums and do a bit of singing.
Hello, I'm Sinead and I play drums and I sing.
Thank you.
You're
Hello, I'm Karis and I play bass and do some backing vocals.
I'm Sapphire and I'm a mentalist, an instrumentalist. I play keyboard and do some backing vocals.
And I saw you play recently and you blew me away. You guys are totally different, aren't you? And I saw you at tomorrow's Ghosts at Whitby at the Goth Festival.
Yes.
And you are unlike anybody else. You're kind of dark, you're moody, visually you're totally stunning. You know, I mean, obviously you look incredible, but your stage show is just so stunning, isn't it? It's grassroots, it's real, but it's stunning.
Thank you.
Quite sort of film noir. But tell me, what is the gospel all about?
It started off as a project that me and Karis and Hayes used to be in a band together. So started off as a little kind of project and grew into what we have now. And the cinematic kind of goth thing kind of took shape on its own because everybody put their darkness into it, I guess you would say.
There's a lot of darkness.
Cinematic goth is what we would consider ourselves. There's some pop elements obviously in there, but cinematic goth band would be what you would consider us, I believe. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and obviously there's a lot of women in this band, which is amazing to see.
There's one over there.
And a lot of great shoes, just in case you're wondering. I hope you can see the shoes from where you all are. Love a bit of Killstar in this couch. But can you tell me, what is it like being a woman in the music industry? Do you feel that the music industry is inclusive to women? Do you feel that there is still an element of prejudice within the music industry in regards to women? What do you feel? Let's put this one over to Danny.
Oh my. I think it's always going to be difficult in general being a woman, to be quite honest. But I think the thing that's really, what I notice is I'm surrounded by really great women, so I feel like I'm really supported. But I imagine that it is really difficult being a woman in the industry. I think it's still very male driven, not just from a musician point of view, but from, higher up, producers and I just feel like I think you need a really good network of supporting women. But I think going forward, I think it is definitely, it's a little easier, but we're still not there.
And in the band, do you pull together? Do you feel like you're kind of like a sisterhood? Because you're almost kind of quite cult-like, aren't you?
We are a coven.
We are a coven.
Well, we literally are. We are a coven. So we're all soul sisters, and we love each other and support each other through not just music, but every element of life, outside of the band. So yeah,
We'll be on the phone to each other. We'll be swapping bits of clothing, doing each other's hair, and I think that is the thing when you talk about being supported. It's not just within the music, but it's also just having your life and having your friends be there with you. So I think that's the one thing that I'm definitely most grateful about being in this band is just being surrounded by so many of my good friends. So,
How lovely is that? And tell me, let's work around the room. Tell me who inspires you, not just in music, but in the arts, because your band is about so much more than music, isn't it? So let's work around the room. I want to know who inspires each of you.
the pressure.
I think Alexander McQueen. Without a doubt, I think he's definitely the most macabre of, I suppose, designers. I don't know if you know about what he was going to do for his last show.
No.
Now I'm going to get really, really dark here. So I don't know, you know what happened to him. So he was, for his final show, he was going to commit suicide on the catwalk.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, but he didn't do it. But I think it's his mind conveys through his art how he was feeling, and although it's glamorous and everything, there is a tone to it that is undoubtedly really heavy. But yeah, I think he's quite a big inspiration.
Yeah.
I'd say biggest influence, Nick Cave. 100%. He is my favourite artist. I think a lot of us, I know Jimmy and I definitely feel that way. He, not only through his music, but his writing and his artwork, he just brings something really macabre, really uncanny, which I think very much sums us up, more so than, you know, the fact that Jimmy's a baritone, he's got that lovely tone of voice. It's more about his stories, and yeah, that was what I would say. Your turn.
This is quite a difficult question. Well, I've got quite Celtic roots, and I think that I'm quite inspired by the old ways, not just in music but in all ways in my life. I kind of turn to the elements a lot, and that's something I incorporate in my everyday life and also sometimes in my aesthetics as well. But music-wise, you know, I like all sorts of music, but I grew up listening to Black Sabbath literally from the womb, and I'm from the Midlands, so national treasure.
Got to be done.
Yeah, so you know, I like sort of, you know, old heavy rock music, but yeah, I like lots of different elements of music and folk music as well, and sort of, you know, Celtic singers, and yeah, the sort of the Irish in me is always, you know, running through my veins.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cough. Oh,
No, it's fine.
I think musically there's too many to mention, because I think my influences have always been so eclectic, so I will not embarrass myself with some of the random places I could go with that question. But as far as women that really inspire me, I think Vivienne Westwood, without a doubt, because when I think of someone who embodies what it is to not give a fuck and to embody a punk rock ideal, it's just, for me, it's her. It's just aesthetically, she always did what she wanted. She didn't want to be liked. She didn't have to be liked. She was that person that knew her mind, and she lived her life like that. And even right until the end, like for me, that's inspirational, because that's how I like to think I live my life. But we all know it's so hard really to do that, because we all, as much as we want to pretend we don't care what other people think, everybody cares what somebody else thinks. So for me, the biggest inspiration is just about being someone that just doesn't care. So for me, I think it's definitely Vivienne Westwood.
Westwood, really, she was like the ultimate non-conformist, wasn't she?
Yeah.
When it just wasn't done, when you just didn't, particularly as a woman, you conformed, you know.
Yeah.
She was still from an era where, you know, women, you grew up, you got married, you had kids, that was your life.
Yeah.
And she was the ultimate non-conformist.
There was an interview with her recently that I saw. It wasn't a recent interview, but it was back when she first started out, and I can't remember what talk show it was, and she was bringing on her models in some of the earlier designs, and she was literally being laughed at, and she just sat there and she looked so composed, and I was like, I mean, she just didn't care what anybody else thought. Their opinions did not matter. And I think if you're able to live your life to your truest self and not care what anybody else thinks, then that is a life well lived. So
definitely. I mean, if we could all live by that, if we could all just live a life of our own design and actually go, I don't care what anyone thinks. I mean, wouldn't the world be an entirely different place?
Yeah.
I think it'd be unhinged as well.
You say it depends on who is doing what they want to do. Yeah.
I think it would just be, I think that would be great, but I think it would definitely be a mad place to live. Yeah.
It's really
Don't say
difficult.
me. I
Again, it's really hard to answer musical influences, but the main one for me, I was brought up on Pink Floyd. That was the first gig I ever went to when I was 5. My parents took me to see him at Wembley Stadium.
What cool parents you
Oh,
had.
I was so lucky. I got to see so many wicked bands when I was growing up. David Bowie, David Lee Roth. But Pink Floyd, when I was 5, when I saw them, it's like Karis has this moment as well when you see a band and you realise at such a young age, that is what I want to do. I want to be up there. But I always want you to be like a backing vocalist, because I've got the 3 backing vocalists, and you've got Dave Gilmore playing guitar. I never ever thought that I'd play guitar, but that just came into it. And their stage show, that it's not just a gig, is it? It's like a massive stage show, and
such a spectacle, isn't it?
it is. And I feel like with the gospel, like, not that we're like Pink Floyd, but people leave our shows like a similar how like you leave a Pink Floyd show. Like, we've had people come up to us and say that they were really emotional. A couple of guys cried at our gig because they were just like, oh, you played this particular song, the girls were so hypnotizing, and I just came over so emotional, and that to me was just like,
And not to mention that you think that you, when you were a kid, you never play guitar. Just to say that Hazel is the most phenomenal guitarist, without a doubt. So, you know, and you are, and I think that it's definitely a big part of our sound is Hazel's sound. I think it wouldn't be the gospel without Hazel.
No, she was what created the sound that we're doing now to make it sound so epic and cinematic. So yeah, absolutely.
And I think that is the
I got all shy now.
But that is absolutely the word, isn't it? In your performance,
Yeah.
you are cinematic through and through.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I love that we give that vibe to people, you know. I love that we're not just a band where, oh yeah, I went to go see a band last night. Yeah. The fact that people go away and go like, oh man, I felt really emotional coming away from that gig. That means that we've done a really good job.
Yeah.
You know, we've really reached out to people.
Oh yeah. And I think that's what you do, and that's what I took when I saw you.
Yeah.
You know, you are hypnotising. That is the word. You know, you are all. I mean, at Whitby, the audience were just transfixed. You know, and you didn't have the best spot on the bill. You know, you were earlier on in the night. But I mean, my God, did you take control of that audience? I mean, you must have all felt it.
There was one guy that didn't like it. I think I saw one guy. He did not like me.
I know exactly who you were talking about.
Yeah, but one guy just did not like what I was doing.
Didn't like it. But do you know what's funny? We actually had a comment. We posted a couple of like clips and videos from the show, and somebody had actually commented about the audience like being really still and like not into it because they're seeing the audience from the back, and I was like, what? Like, for me, the audience gave us so much energy, and it was just so euphoric because they were so into it. We're not necessarily the type of band that you can sort of rock out and dance to. It is more of well, we're a cinematic, you know, type of band. So when you're watching us, actually, you're kind of taking it in. And it may be that you are standing there just taking it in, but those people are still standing there taking it in. They're not walking away.
They were like this, they were like...
Yeah, that's fine. But I could,
they were
you know, you don't always have to have people going sort of nuts.
A mosh pit to a piano solo.
Yeah. Well, music's about the experience, isn't it? It doesn't have to be something that you dance to. If the experience is that you stand there and just take it in and have that moment, I think
you can feel it from people, and that's what I love so much when people can feel what you're doing, and you can feel their energy. It's like your energies combine somehow. They just like align, and then it's such a euphoric feeling as a musician on stage. And I just thought, they were into it. Like, but, you know, not everybody gets that because they just see, oh, the audience are not moving, but hey, they're still there, so they must have liked it, you know. We can't get a drink. We can't something anyway.
They're staying warm.
And somebody was right down the front that they were into it. I don't care what anyone says, they were 100% into it.
Oh, yeah. Except that one guy again.
He'll be on his deathbed still thinking about that one guy.
He'll be on my tombstone, that one lucky guy. Oh yeah, I still forgot that. I was going to answer your question. So I grew up in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, and I remember I was 12 years old, and I went to a friend's house, and they put on the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And that absolutely changed my life. I didn't even know something like that was possible. I was at that age where nothing made sense, and I didn't know. And the next day, I just felt like I knew something no one else knew. And so, Rocky Horror Picture Show was an inspiration in music, in film, in clothing, and obviously I'm a huge glitter rock, 70s glam rock fan. So it was just signified everything that I think I've become today. Anyway, yes, that was big. That's a big inspiration.
Have you ever been to Rocky Horror?
I did.
No?
I got arrested. I was 16, and because it was a curfew, I actually stood out of line and I got handcuffed into. And my dad had to come get me at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he was pissed.
Were you dressed as Frankenfurter at the time?
No, just dressed. No. I mean, if I wasn't, Jesus Christ, what happened in jail? I don't know. I just got arrested. It was a curfew thing, so my dad was angry. Yeah. So.
Jimmy, obviously you are from the US, and currently in the US, it's tough times right now.
Awful. Yeah, the fires are out of control. We lived in Pasadena, which was is where the fires are right now as well. So a lot of my friends have been evacuated. It's just a very it's hard. You're looking at it and it just doesn't seem real, and so you're looking at it from over here, and obviously you can't do anything to help, even if I was there. But it's just the whole thing is. It's absolutely sad. It's obviously, there's politics involved, none of that I want to get into, but just the fact of the matter is, it's devastation, and I feel so horrible for the people, and I wish there was something that,
I think it's quite sad for us as well, because we have a lot of friends there still.
Because you lived out there for a long time, didn't you?
And I think it's really difficult as well, because not only are you seeing it on the news, but on your Facebook feed, and like our friends are, really in the middle of it, and those that haven't evacuated are ready to be evacuated, and I think it's it becomes very real when the people that are affected are some of your closest friends, with children, with animals, their whole livelihood, and I think in America you are. In some parts of America, only one paycheck away from losing your home anyway, because times are really hard. So I think there are people that have lost their homes, and to think about how they will rebuild after that is actually incredibly sad. And I hope it gets under control soon, and that they're able to do something, and there's assistance, because they're gonna really need it. So.
Well, they are, and I think there seems to be, without getting too political, there seems to be a real lack of support out there, doesn't there? And I think, we see it on the TV, and we see Hollywood, and we think, those people have got tons of money, and they're Hollywood stars, but actually, LA is full of people who aren't Hollywood stars.
Absolutely, I mean, it's exactly, it's there are families that have been born there, and they're, there are definitely communities of not everyone is Tom Hanks and Tom Cruise out there,
But I think in trying times, I think the one thing that we need to remember through all of this, regardless of the support that is offered on a government level or a higher level, your community really begins at home. So what I know from the people that I know is that, they are supporting each other in some of the most beautiful ways, be it making meals for people that have got no food, will it be, offering a room for someone to stay in, so for me, I think in really difficult times, that's where, as much as it's absolutely awful, we realise just how beautiful also, because we're terrible at times, but just how beautiful we can be as humans when we are actually offering support and being that community, so.
Tragedy really brings people together. I mean, even if we think about the whole COVID thing, how many people do you know where actually your friendships, which were kind of, you'd see each other once in a while, how actually we bonded with people, all of us. We've all bonded.
Because we're all in the same position.
Yeah. So we have to pull together.
I think that's the thing, catastrophe doesn't discriminate. No. You all become a base level human at that point, don't you?
Exactly. Exactly. You're so right. Now, let's talk about why you're here in the studio today. You want to answer that?
Give it to the man.
We are recording a single, A side and a B side. I consider both A sides personally. We're doing a new song called The Only One, and we are doing a cover of Alanis Morissette, Uninvited. I think we showcased first show time ever was at Whitby Goth Festival, wasn't it? I think we rehearsed it once, and that was it
felt like it anyway.
So it's funny, that song, and when we play live, we do Only One and that one back to back, and it seems to be a real high point in our set that we gathered from just the reaction of the crowd. So we thought, let's just go ahead and get those recorded and And so yeah, that's what we're here at Sensible Studios in North London.
Yeah.
And I know where I'm at.
You got it, kid.
So that's what we're doing.
And you've put out a couple of amazing singles, but I absolutely love your latest, your last, Madonna.
Oh yeah,
Tell me about this.
We.
It started in the WhatsApp group.
What happened was we got a single deal. I'm sorry, with Cleopatra Records.
Yes.
We went to LA. We played Bar Sinister, which is a very cool goth club out in Hollywood, and we got a single deal to do a record with Cleopatra. Well, they wanted us to do a cover song, so they said, "Why don't you pick some covers and send them our way?" Anyway, we all picked songs, and then Karis over here.
I was joking.
Put in Like a Prayer, and he came back without even questioning, go, Like a Prayer, that's the one, and that was it. And we had to figure out, how the fuck are we going to make this?
You had to figure it out.
And that's...
I love it.
it came out,
Yeah,
it came out great, but it was...
so well.
Anxiety was flowing through me, though, at the moment.
Sorry.
I mean, it's a bold choice, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
who doesn't know Like a Prayer? I mean, everybody knows that track, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
that's even more reason that's good.
it had to be good. There was no two ways about it. It had to be incredible. But I love that video. Whose idea was the video?
So that was a friend of mine in Los Angeles, Miles, and he went up to the desert and they rented out a hotel room and just filmed away guerrilla style and just went for it. Yeah, so yeah, it's a really cool video.
I love
So
that video.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
So, do you want to describe the video to anyone? who
Yeah,
hasn't
so
seen
it's
it?
about a gentleman that's goes out to the desert to a hotel by himself, and he kind of don't understand what's going on, and he gets in the hotel room and pulls out the makeup, puts on a dress, and he's dancing around the hotel. Then he gets into his undies and dancing around, and then opens the door, runs out into the world, and here I am. And it's a
journey of self-exploration.
Well, there you go. That's a better way to. I was being a little specific.
It's a really kind of euphoric moment where he's like, but the pillowcase bursts open, doesn't it? And there are all these feathers come raining down on him, and it's just so feel good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's emotional, and it's like you can feel how he's feeling at that moment. That it's that crescendo moment with the feathers, and then the breaking free of whatever it is he's breaking free of. In the beginning, you think it's taking a very different, sinister turn as well. So, and I love the fact that actually it becomes this really tender moment. And I just, when he leaves the hotel room and he's just there, and it's just finally him in his truest, most purest form. I love it, and I think it just works so well with the song as well.
It does. It does. It really does. And it had to be something perhaps a little bit controversial. It had to be something out there, because if you think about the original track, I mean, I'm probably a bit older than all of you, but I remember when that came out, when Like a Prayer came out, and it was so controversial.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah. Which is tame for nowadays. I mean, come on,
and it was all like, everyone was whispering about it, and it was going to be bad. And it was so, of course, so thrilling. You couldn't watch it enough because it was going to be bad.
It was groundbreaking.
It was absolutely groundbreaking. Yeah. So, but I love it.
Oh, right.
Anyway, Whitby Goth Festival.
Yes.
So if you're going to go in, because you're still fairly new as a band, aren't you? What's it, about 2 years?
About 2 years, yeah.
And to go in and to play Whitby Goth Festival, I mean, it doesn't get better than that, does it?
The dream.
Yeah,
It was the dream, yeah.
What was that like for you?
It was amazing. Okay, so I've always wanted to play Whitby Goth Festival. Many moons ago, Saf and I used to be in a band together, and it was one of the places that we always wanted to play.
But we weren't allowed.
But we never got a chance. We never got a chance at the time to play there. But also, I've got a lot of heritage there. So I've got a lot of family from Yorkshire, and my great granddad used to train in the war there. That's where they trained.
Really?
So the Whitby Steps is somewhere he used to sort of run up and down. And me and my brother, we did
the steps all the way up to the castle.
Yeah, they used to have to run up and down them for training.
Oh
so.
my god.
Yeah. So it's just a really special place, and it's like a place that, you know, I've gone to with family, and we've done charity events there and stuff. So I love Whitby. It's just so beautiful and majestic, and I love the Whitby Jetstone as well. It's just, and the fact that they have this festival there where they just bring people together, you know, from all different walks of life, but we all have something in common that we like, you know, we're all misfits. And that's the thing, when you're growing up as a bit of a misfit kid, you feel a little bit out of place. And I'm from a small town, so, you know, especially if you're in a small town. And then when you sort of go to these things like festivals or something like the Whitby Goth Festival, it's where you don't feel alone, you know, you feel like actually there's people here that understand me. And maybe they're feeling the same, and we all sort of club together in this one big sort of unit. And I think it's a really positive, amazing place to express yourself and also meet other people like you, or like-minded people that may not be the same as you, but they may get you. So it was really special, and I loved it so much. I was so happy to be there, honestly, and and also to be in a band again with Saf, and we're actually playing at the festival that we wanted to play at so many years ago. We were at, you know, I'm talking like 10 plus years ago. We were talking about this festival, so. So that was really cool, and obviously to be with all these guys as well. So
and fish and chips and Whitby ducks as well.
And Whitby ducks, I've got it on me.
Yeah, the little
Ducks.
Yes. And going back to festivals, what have you got coming up? Because you've got a festival coming up, haven't you?
We have 2 festivals actually. We're doing the Antenna Festival. I think it's in Leeds. Leeds. And then we're doing the Besider Festival in Dorset. Dorset. We're doing those 2 festivals. This year. So.
And going back to festivals, let's work back around the room. And if you could play any festival at all, which would you play?
Oh gosh.
It's okay, you don't have to say Whitby Goth, they will not. Let's take that one out of the equation.
Coachella, why? I'll say Coachella, why not? Why not?
Mine would definitely be Glastonbury, because that is such a special place.
So special.
That's my dream.
Glastonbury. I have played Glastonbury a few times in the theatre and circus fields. But I would love to be on a stage with these guys at Glastonbury. I feel like it is a place where you want to be with your best friends, and I think to do it with these guys would be a totally different experience. So yeah.
And the witches. So we belong there.
Definitely at Glastonbury.
You are made for Glastonbury, aren't you? Let's be honest.
Exactly.
So bad.
Hey, I'll play any festival with you guys. That's that'd be
okay, we're doing 2 this year.
It'd be good to play Bloodstock or Download Festival.
Yes. I was going to say Glastonbury as well, honestly, because my eldest brother Sholto, had a dream one night that he came to see me with his kids at Glastonbury Festival, and the day after he was so hyped up from this dream, he said, "Is there any equipment I can buy you? Is there anything you need?" And he bought me a beautiful acoustic bass because he was like, "You're gonna do this. You're gonna." This was years before, and I've played massive things since then, but this was years before any of that. And so he bought me a beautiful new bass to get me
love your brother
on my journey. He's lovely. He's the best.
And to my brother that may watch this, please have a dream and bright. I really like a drum kit, one that's shiny as well.
It's kind of like a premonition, not a dream.
Yes,
it's a premonition.
I'm going to go down a slightly different vein, so I'd like to play like a Roman amphitheatre, something like that. Where
the acoustic.
Sonically, it will be like, wow, you know, that would be cool.
With some sort of like togery. Black togas.
Yes. And like your piano could be like spinning around, you know, like Tommy Lee where he has his spinning around in the middle, going up.
Yes. Oh my god.
I see the vision.
Hairdressers.
Love a good vision.
And how do you feel that the UK music industry differs from the music industry in the US, particularly in the current climate?
I mean, I guess the main thing would be the size of the U.S. You could be a shit hot band in Los Angeles, and New York may not hear, but obviously it's different now, social media being, but in general, just having a fan base in one city wouldn't mean shit across the other side. But here, you can make some waves in London, and it's a little bit easier to kind of get your foot in the door. I'd say in other years. I'd say the size difference would be the main thing. As far as the music industry, it's all kind of. It's been kind of the same thing for a long time. You know, the best bands I believe do rise to the top. I do believe that. You know.
Of course.
So just in that sense, I think it would be a size issue thing. Yeah. So.
And you had a lot of support early on, didn't you, in your career? So particularly you were saying to me about John Robb supporting you.
Yeah, well, he was. We got the Whitby Goth Festival because of him as well. Yeah, so he was. I met him right when I moved to Manchester, and he kind of championed the band. He came and saw us in the northern quarter of Manchester. We did a gig, and he championed us ever since. And we become friends. We went up to LA with him, and yeah, so he's a good pal at this point too. Yeah, so but he's been a big help for us for sure. There's no doubt about it. So big thank you.
And if you could play with anyone at all, so if I could wave a magic wand for you and you could support any artist or any band, who would each of you play with?
Oh, I got to think about that. You guys, I'll come back.
Do you guys want to have a look? Whoever's ready.
I've already answered it earlier with Nick Cave. I mean, that would be an absolute dream come true.
I agree. I think
anything more suited.
Very suited. I think that would be magic.
What do you reckon? Think about it a little longer.
All right, I've always said if I could be in a band, so if we go in that sense, I think the funnest band to ever be in, obviously it did Quick and Tragic, but the New York Dolls.
Oh, yeah.
That would be such a fun band to be in, get dressed up, go and just cause shit everywhere. I would love to be, so I'll say New York
Jimmy,
Dolls.
you're fired.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard when your taste is so eclectic to actually because if you've got that one moment, like how do you pin it on that one band?
Yeah,
I can't even.
It's a very difficult question to answer. I mean, we could all probably pick like bands that we love. Like one that stands out to me. We're not like them at all, but Portishead, if they were to be playing, I would love to support a band. Like
I love
Beth because they're quite moody like us as well. So
Do they still do much Portishead?
I don't. I know they play the odd gig like. They're a bit of a rare tear, they don't always play. And actually that's what's really beautiful about them as well, is that because when they do play, I think the last gig they put on was at Alexandra Palace and it just sold out. You could it was like,
Oh, I'm not surprised. They were huge, weren't they?
They were big in America as well, they were. I mean, in an underground sense, not meaning on. But if you knew music, Portishead was in the conversation for sure.
Do you know what I saw a couple of years ago in Brighton? Skunk and Nancy.
That would be a rough band.
Honestly, her show was like so punk and dark, but fun.
Yeah.
But also moody. It was everything, and she's still everything.
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
And she had a massive like stage costume on that had all spikes coming out everywhere. I think she'd be cool to play with.
Yeah.
And they're touring again. I've already got tickets for 2 days.
Oh, amazing!
But it's just sold out, and it was.
That's because she bought the last 2 tickets.
I was like, before we even got to have a chance, it was like, London Roundhouse sold out.
Skinny's amazing. I mean, she's so iconic. I remember growing up watching her videos. You know, I was a kid, and I was just like, "Whoa, she's so cool." I was mesmerised by her. I just thought she was really different and just punk and herself and bold, just a bold, fierce woman, you know.
Because you feel.
And again, talking about someone who is the epitome of not caring what anybody else thinks and being true and authentic to themselves. So,
Definitely. Another total non-conformist in every sense. She's amazing. I mean, they're amazing as a band, and they're a tight band. I mean, like you guys, you know, they're all so tight, aren't they? They bounce off each other. It's like you,
Someone's be bouncing my head against the wall.
Yeah, you should see us after this. We love each other.
I'm gonna get my chest hair back out later. I can't wait.
What's some
able to answer that question.
You but
I can't honestly.
Looking
I'm
at
like being
Mind blank.
invaded right now.
It's a huge, huge question, isn't it?
You know, I'm going to kick myself tomorrow. Go, what should I have done that?
I know.
No, I should have done that.
And tell me all, and I can be like, right, okay, so I've made my list. I've thought about this.
We'll edit it in.
Yeah, I'll make a home video, send it to you. AI in this position.
With his chest hair out.
We'll do a little fade, open it up, we'll just be Jimmy saying, actually.
You know what? I changed my mind.
Oh.
What have you come up
Did
with?
you have one?
What do you got?
Yeah, what you got?
The cramps.
Oh, good one. That's a good one. Nice.
So good.
Hell yeah.
And on that
She's
note,
done.
And whatever.
And you're done. So tell me, you've got a couple of tours coming up. You're touring with a couple of people, aren't you? Hear
well,
about that?
we're doing we're touring with Lena Lovitch in May, and we're doing I guess it'd be the whole of the UK. We're going from Scotland down to
Everywhere.
wherever, yeah. So
Yeah.
come to a town near you.
Yeah.
And then we are, I think that's our only tour we're doing. We're doing some shows with Pig in London. They had a second show, by the way, so we were going to do one second show, and I think it's at 229 now, I believe. Then we have the festival. Yeah, we have quite a few things going on this year, but then we're doing one tour with Lena Lovitch this year, so yeah, that's very exciting.
Exciting
Yeah, we get to go. We get to be together for a whole month. Think about that.
Eating some of the best fish and chips in the UK.
Yeah. We'll get ducks everywhere.
It's a really good job you all get on, honestly.
Ask us again in about a year. We'll see what happens.
I'd say we're more than a band. We're like basically a bunch of each other's therapists. So I think we actually need each other.
Yeah, that's great. We've actually got our first headline show coming up as well.
Oh yes, that's a good one.
That's an important one.
We need to promote this. Yeah, you're right.
So please come.
Please come.
Yeah, we've got our first headline show in Manchester on the 22nd of February.
20th.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Scratch that and start over. Please come. We are playing at the day.
Night and Day Cafe.
Night day.
Sorry.
It's descended into
Scratch
chaos.
that. Somebody else. Yeah, it's your turn.
I don't know the date.
Okay, so we've got our first headline show on the 20th of February in Manchester at Night and Day Cafe. Please come.
It's really difficult just to say that, so please come.
We promise it'll be a good show.
Yeah, we'll play a lot better than we talk. I promise you that. Yeah.
We can't remember the name of the venue, but we'll do our songs. How about that?
We're sorry to the venue. Please let us play.
And if people want to find out more about you, more about the band, more about your releases, more about where to buy tickets for your shows, where do they go? Let's do a big plug here for anyone.
So everything will be in our link tree, which would be at The Gospel Official. I think most of our things are Instagram, The Gospel Official, YouTube, The Gospel Official. But Linktree will have everything we have on offer, anything you want to keep up with us. So at The Gospel Official.
Yeah, and on Facebook, Instagram, just follow us and follow our posts and give us some love.
And come to our show.
Especially our headliner.
And we will give you love in return.
That's right.
I don't know what that means.
But not in a good way. There's nothing creepy about it. Listen, it's been so amazing speaking to you all here today.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you. We had a great time.
And let's chat again soon.
Yeah, for sure.